who's standing over there? She shot her.
She's the one who shot her.
She's the one who shot her.
Restraining order, but she shot her.
The gun in the car. Oh my fucking God.
The baby in the car. How you feel? She talk her. Get up. You scared as hell, all right? Scared as hell. You had it, buddy.
No, it wasn't.
That is
You
not
had it for the
self-defense.
car and I saw you.
You were turning yourself over the car, bro. You're turning you the car, bro. What are you talking about?
If you think you've heard every tragic headline out of Chicago, this one hits different. A routine school drop-off. A mother trying to start her day. And then chaos that nobody saw coming. Romeca Meeks-Blackmon, a Chicago mom, suddenly became the center of a story that shook an entire community and ignited non-stop debate online. Fans are shocked, parents are furious, and questions are still piling up faster than answers. What really happened outside that school? Why did a moment that should have been ordinary turn into a nightmare? And how did whispers, rumors, and half-told stories begin spreading before the facts even settled? Social media exploded within hours. Some people demanded justice. Others jumped to conclusions. Emotions ran high as clips, posts, and commentary flooded timelines, each version more dramatic than the last. Families watching from home asked the same thing you're probably asking right now. How does something like this happen in broad daylight? The internet didn't wait for clarity. It chose sides. It rewrote narratives. And in the middle of it all stood a family left divided, grieving, confused, and suddenly under a spotlight they never asked for. This isn't just another crime story. It's a collision of tragedy, outrage, and viral culture, where facts, rumors, and emotion blur into one explosive narrative. Stay with us, because once you hear how this unfolded, you'll realize nothing about this story is as simple as it first sounded. What happened to Romeca Meeks-Blackmon on that cold Chicago morning is more than just another name added to the headlines. This is a story that's got people on edge, because it's not just about violence, it's about betrayal, secrets, and a family torn apart from the inside out. Let's rewind the clock. Romeca wasn't just a mother, she was a fighter. A South Side native, she had survived the system, raised 3 kids on her own, and was slowly becoming known in the neighborhood for speaking up on social issues, school safety, police reform, and protecting young black boys from gang life. People respected her. But respect? It comes with enemies, especially when your truth starts to rub folks the wrong way. Now here's the kicker. Just 48 hours before she was gunned down in front of her children outside Baker Elementary, she had posted a cryptic Facebook status. A snake can smile in your face while poisoning your plate. Just know I see you. Fans immediately clocked the vibe. She was calling somebody out. But who? Some folks in the comments said it was aimed at her ex, DeAndre Dre Willis, a local producer with ties to both the rap scene and the streets. They had a rocky past. Some said he cheated, others claimed he used her to clean up his image after a drug arrest back in 2021. Whatever the case, their breakup wasn't peaceful. Court docs show Romeca had full custody of their youngest son and filed for a restraining order in May 2025 after Dre allegedly popped up at her job and caused a scene. But here's where it gets wild. Sources close to the family say that in the week leading up to her murder, Romeca and Dre had actually been talking again privately. Text messages leaked to a blog page show Dre texting, "You know they ain't gonna let you walk away clean. Stop talking before it gets worse." Wait, stop talking about what? See, now people were starting to piece together that this wasn't random. This wasn't just wrong place, wrong time. This felt personal. Her sister, Tisha Meeks, went live the night after Romeca's death, crying on camera. "My sister knew something. She said if anything ever happened to her, to look close to home. She told me not to trust everybody that say family." And just like that, the internet went from mourning to investigating. Let's talk about the scene of the crime. Tuesday morning, December 16th, Baker Elementary. It was supposed to be a normal day. Romeca had just dropped off her youngest son, 7-year-old Malik, and was walking back to her car when witnesses say a masked man approached from the alley behind the school. No words, no warning, just 2 shots. One to the chest, one to the neck. Romeca collapsed near the passenger side of her car, where her 10-year-old daughter was waiting. Let that sink in. Her daughter saw the whole thing. People screamed. Someone called 911. But by the time paramedics arrived, Romeca was already gone. The shooter? Gone without a trace. Police said it looked like a hit. Quick, precise, and professional. Not your average street beef. And if it was a robbery, nothing was taken. Her purse, her phone, her jewelry, all still there. So now people are asking the real questions. Was Romeca targeted? Was this a warning? Or was this the final act in a drama that had been boiling for months? Maybe even years? Because once people started digging, the skeletons started pouring out. Let's go back to 2023, just a year earlier. Romeca was involved in a nonprofit called Voices for the Unheard, helping at-risk youth stay out of gang life. On paper, it was noble, but insiders say there was beef between her and one of the other founding members, a woman named Jalen Ward, over money and leadership. Romeca allegedly accused Jalen of stealing grant money. Jalen denied it, but things turned ugly, like lawyers involved and people switching sides ugly. Even Dre, yes, her ex, had sided with Jalen in public statements, calling Romeca unstable and obsessed with control. So now you got ex-lovers turned enemies. Non-profit drama. Custody battles. And the streets watching all of it like it's a reality show. And then BAM. Romeca's murdered outside a school, in broad daylight, with 0 suspects named. People are furious. Twitter's going off. Hashtags like #Justice for Romeca and #Who Killed Romeca trend nationally. But here's where the story takes its first real twist. 2 days after the murder, an anonymous tip comes in to a local blogger. An unverified source claims they saw a black Dodge Charger parked near the school minutes before the shooting, a car that matches the same one registered to none other than Dre's cousin, Marcus Lil K. Willis. Now Lil K? He's no saint. His rap sheet includes aggravated assault, possession, and an attempted carjacking back in 2022. The streets know his name, but more importantly, they know he and Dre are tight. Police won't confirm or deny if they've questioned him, but here's what has happened. Lil K's Instagram disappears. One day after the story drops, his entire account is wiped clean. People start connecting dots. Some are even reposting old pics of Lil K and Dre with captions like, "Blood don't make you family, loyalty does." A post Romeca had liked just 3 weeks before her death. And now the story is getting even messier. Tisha, Romeca's sister, comes back online with another bombshell. There's a life insurance policy y'all don't know about. My sister made me the backup beneficiary because she didn't trust nobody else. $300,000. And somebody knew about it. Do the math. Wait, a $300,000 policy? Now, we're talking motive. People in the comments are losing it. Theories are flying. Was this a setup for insurance money? Was Dre trying to silence her before she exposed more? Did someone inside the family pull strings to make it look like a street hit? Romeca's mom, Miss Deborah, finally breaks her silence at a candlelight vigil held outside the school. My daughter didn't die in vain. She was strong, even when people tried to break her. This city failed her. The people she loved the most failed her. But God sees everything. The moment was emotional. You could hear people crying. Kids releasing balloons. But even in grief, the tension was thick. 2 of Dre's cousins showed up to the vigil and were told to leave by Romeca's aunt, who shouted, "Y'all ain't welcome here. She told us what y'all was capable of." Security had to get involved. The vigil almost turned into a brawl. This isn't just mourning, this is war. And remember, this is all still in the first week after her death. But hold on, the next twist? It's about to flip this whole thing upside down. Because while people were pointing fingers at Dre and Lil K, an unexpected name came into the spotlight, Jalen Ward. Yes, the same woman from the nonprofit drama. Receipts started surfacing showing that just 2 days after Romeca's murder, Jalen filed to restart the nonprofit without Romeca's name on the board, claiming she was the sole surviving founder. People were shook. How you moving like that when someone just got killed? Romeca's friends say she had proof that Jalen was embezzling funds and was planning to go public with it on January 1st. One of Romeca's closest friends, Keisha, dropped a tearful TikTok. She told me, "If something happens to me before the new year, just know Jalen has blood on her hands." She said that, and now she's gone. And then a mysterious text leaked from Romeca's iCloud backup changes everything. The message? Sent just 4 days before her death, a voice note and a screenshot combo. In the voice note, Romeca says this: "If anything happens to me, check Jalen's books. Check the 2023 grant from the community fund. Dre ain't the only one I can't trust. I'm tired of the fake love. My circle getting smaller and the threats louder." The screenshot? A transaction receipt showing $75,000 withdrawn from the nonprofit's business account, routed through a fake consulting firm registered in Jalen's cousin's name. Y'all, the internet exploded. This wasn't just petty nonprofit drama anymore. This was straight-up fraud, and now possibly murder. So now the question becomes, did Jalen silence Romeca to protect the scam? Or was she working with someone else who wanted Romeca gone for other reasons? And that's when another voice jumps into the mix. Dre's current girlfriend, Zariah Banks, a boutique owner with a wild past of her own. She goes live on Instagram, sitting in her car, hair in a messy bun, looking like she hasn't slept in days. And she drops this. Y'all want the truth? Romeca was threatening people. She told Dre she'd expose all his business. She said she knew what really happened in 2021 when his cousin disappeared. She was playing a dangerous game. And when you play dirty, dirty things happen. Don't blame Dre. Blame karma. Boom. She said it. Now people are connecting even more dots. Because if you remember, Dre's cousin Rico Willis went missing back in late 2021. Case was cold. Never found. And rumor had it, Romeca knew something about that too. Something she was using against Dre, maybe to keep him in check. And here's what's wild. Folks are saying that in 2022, Romeca allegedly told one of her friends, "I know what happened to Rico. I know who made the call. If I ever go missing, ask Dre who else he's buried." Let that sink in. Was Romeca keeping secrets so dark they made her a target for multiple people? Was she leveraging her knowledge to protect herself and her kids? Because we're not just talking street-level beef anymore. This is deep. Real deep. Like cover-ups and body-dropping level deep. Meanwhile, Malik, her 7-year-old son who was walked into school that morning, has started to talk. According to sources close to CPS, Malik said in a counseling session, "I saw the car Mommy said was scary." Scary car? What does that mean? Romeca had apparently told her kids, even the youngest, that if they ever saw a black car parked outside the house or outside the school, to go inside immediately and call Tisha, their aunt. She was already scared. She knew something was coming. But what? At this point, police say they've identified persons of interest, but they're being tight-lipped with the public. No arrests. No charges. Nothing. And that silence? It's only fueling more drama. Let's talk about Romeca's funeral, the most tense, chaotic, and emotionally charged event in the whole saga. Hundreds showed up. Mourners, supporters, bloggers, and yes, even people she had fallen out with. And guess who showed up unannounced? Dre. He came in late, wearing all black, sunglasses on, holding Malik's hand like he was some grieving father of the year. But let's be real. Half the room was holding their breath, because if looks could kill, Dre would have dropped on the spot. Tisha, Romeca's sister, refused to let him speak. When the pastor asked if anyone wanted to share memories, Tisha stood up in front of the whole church and said, "If you wasn't protecting her in life, don't pretend to mourn her in death. Sit down." Oof. Gasps went through the room. Dre just nodded and sat. But cameras caught the tension, his jaw clenching, Zariah whispering something in his ear, Malik looking confused and scared. The family was not having it. Romeca's cousin Marcel even had to be held back outside the church when he confronted Dre in the parking lot. He was heard yelling, "You fake grieving. You ain't innocent. She told us what you did." Cops were called. People were escorted off the property. And yes, the entire scene ended up all over TikTok and YouTube before the sun went down. But just when it looked like things couldn't get messy, a voicemail was leaked. Not just any voicemail, but Romeca's last message, sent to her lawyer the day before she died. In it, she said, "If I don't make it to court Wednesday, tell Tisha to open the safe." The footage is there. It's not just financial stuff. It's video proof. Jalen, Dre, the money, the warehouse, it's all on there. I'm done being scared. The safe. That set off a whole new storm. Because now people were demanding to know, what was in that safe? Did she really have video evidence? Was she planning to go public? Was she days away from blowing the lid off something huge? Tisha went quiet after that. No more lives, no more posts. Until 3 days later, when she posted a black screen to her Instagram with a single caption, "Don't believe everything you hear. The truth is coming." And that brings us to the most explosive twist so far. A week after the funeral, December 21st, a private investigator hired by Romeca before she died finally comes forward. He speaks to the media, saying, "Ms. Meeks-Blackmon hired me back in October to look into a possible plot involving multiple people trying to destroy her reputation and possibly harm her. She believed her ex, his cousin, and a non-profit associate were working together. She gave me names, accounts, locations, and passwords. And I turned everything over to her lawyer." Wait, let's pause. Romeca knew. She wasn't just guessing. She had hired help. She had collected evidence. She had a plan. And now, that plan might be the only thing left to bring her justice. Because get this, sources say the lawyer now has access to a hard drive found in Romeca's home safe. And on that drive, documents, emails, and security camera footage from a warehouse owned by Dre's cousin Lil K. And what's on the footage? That hasn't been released yet, but people are already speculating. Some say it shows meetings between Jalen, Dre, and Lil K late at night. Others say it shows money being exchanged, boxes being moved. And one source even claims it shows a heated confrontation, Romeca arguing with Dre, threatening to go to the police. If that's true, then this wasn't just murder. This was a cover-up, a desperate attempt to silence a woman who had seen and heard too much. But let's not forget, while all this is unfolding online, real kids are grieving. Malik, her youngest son, hasn't spoken at school since the day it happened. Her daughter is seeing a trauma counselor, and CPS has stepped in to assess whether Dre should even have temporary custody of the kids. Meanwhile, Zariah, Dre's girlfriend, is suddenly backtracking. She deleted her live, set her page to private, and posted a message saying, "I spoke out of emotion. I'm not involved and I'm done talking." Too little, too late? Maybe. But the streets don't forget. Romeca's supporters are still demanding answers. Protesters have shown up outside City Hall. A local mural is being painted in her honor. And on Twitter, the movement is growing. Hashtag uncover the safe, hashtag justice for Romeca, hashtag say her name. And then, just when you think there's no more drama to uncover, an old voicemail from Rico Willis, Dre's missing cousin, resurfaces. Dated 2 weeks before he vanished, the message says, "Yo, Romeca, I need to talk. You were right. Things are way deeper than I thought. That non-profit ain't clean. And Dre, he's not who he says he is." Hold up. Rico might have been about to flip. And if Romeca knew that, if she was the last person he contacted before disappearing, then this isn't just one murder. This could be a chain of silenced voices. People who got too close to the truth. And if that's the case, the whole city needs to pay attention. Because the question now isn't just who killed Romeca. It's, how many people helped cover it up? It's, how many people helped cover it up? Because when that old voicemail from Dre's missing cousin Rico reemerged, the one saying, Dre's not who he says he is, and warning Romeca about the nonprofit, it cracked the case wide open. Now, people weren't just talking about betrayal. They were talking about a conspiracy. A layered, dark, twisty game of silence and survival that had been playing out behind closed doors for years. And that's when Tisha, Romeca's sister, finally broke her silence. After 2 weeks of mourning, side eyes, accusations, and online pressure, she came back with a 40-minute live stream titled, "I Open the Safe." And y'all, the things she revealed? Phew. First off, yes, there was video footage. From a motion-activated camera, Romeca had hidden inside a storage unit. In one of the clips, Jalen and Dre can be seen arguing over money, specifically about a missing $40K from a cash drop that wasn't reported on the books. Jalen accuses Dre of skimming. Dre denies it and threatens to handle it himself. But what's even crazier? Another clip shows Romeca herself talking to the camera, her own confession, like a video diary. In it, she says, "I don't know who I can trust anymore. Jalen's been acting strange. Dre's popping up again. I feel like they're watching me. If something happens to me, don't let them act innocent. The warehouse isn't just for clothes. It's a front. Ask the lawyer. Ask about the invoices." Invoices? Yup. The safe also had printed documents, fake business invoices that showed Jalen's cousin being paid for consulting services under different aliases on the same dates that nonprofit funds were moved out of the bank. So now there's paper and video evidence, all pointing to shady money laundering through the nonprofit. But here's the twist within the twist. Dre? He wasn't just involved. He was recorded too on a wiretap. Apparently, Romeca's private investigator was working with a friend who used to work for a security firm. That friend, now turned whistleblower, had wiretapped Dre's phone during a meeting at a local bar. In that call, Dre can be heard saying, "If she opens her mouth, we're all cooked. I'm not trying to go down for something that was supposed to be clean." Boom. That wiretap recording was sent straight to Romeca's lawyer just 3 days before she was killed. And that, right there, might have been the last straw. She knew too much. She had receipts. She had motive, names, and the courage to expose it. And they knew it. Because here's something nobody expected. The killer wasn't a masked stranger from the streets. It was someone hired. A hitman. Leaked police documents, yes. They hit the blogs fast, say that a burner phone was found in a trash can just a block from the school, traced back to text messages between an unknown user and a number linked to Lil K. In the texts, "Handle it before Tuesday. Kids ain't the target. Y'all. Handle it before Tuesday?" The same day Romeca died? That's not coincidence. That's a hit. And now Lil K, Dre's cousin, is missing too. Police say he hasn't been seen since December 20th. Phone off. Apartment cleared out. Instagram deactivated. Nobody can reach him. Not even Dre, who's now publicly denying involvement. But here's the kicker. A week after Lil K disappears, an anonymous package is dropped at a Chicago news station. Inside, a USB drive. On it, one video. It shows Lil K in a dark room, recording what looks like a confession. "I didn't pull the trigger, but I set it up. I didn't know the kids would be there. They told me she was gonna ruin everything. I just wanted to get paid." And who told him? According to the video, Jalen. Yup. He names Jalen Ward as the person who orchestrated the entire thing. Says she was scared Romeca was about to turn in the nonprofit. That she promised Lil K $10,000 to scare her off, but somewhere along the line, it turned into something deadly. Fans are in shock. The internet goes up in flames. Comment sections go nuclear. TikToks analyzing Lil K's facial expressions are posted by the minute. YouTubers dissect every line of his confession. Romeca's name is now on every platform, from Black Twitter to the mainstream news. Hashtag Justice for Romeca isn't just a hashtag anymore. It's a movement. And finally, police confirm they've issued a warrant for Jalen Ward. She's arrested on December 22nd, booked on multiple charges: conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and obstruction of justice. As she's being walked into the courthouse in cuffs, cameras catch her shaking her head and whispering, "I didn't mean for her to die." But intentions don't erase outcomes. Romeca is gone. A mother, a fighter, a truth teller, silenced, but not forgotten. In a twist of fate, her own preparedness, the safe, the files, the video diary is what brought justice. Her sister Tisha is now fighting for full custody of the kids. The nonprofit has been shut down, and a mural is being painted outside Baker Elementary with Romeca's face and the words, "She knew. She spoke." They tried to silence her, but truth doesn't die. Now look, We know this has been a roller coaster of emotions. There's a lot to process. But we're not done yet. Because there's still one more question that hasn't been answered. Where is Dre? He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't posted bail for Jalen. He hasn't made any statements since the evidence dropped. Sources say he left Chicago the day after the confession video surfaced. Some say he's laying low. Others believe he could be trying to cut a deal. Rumors are swirling that he might flip on everybody else to save himself. But will he be brought to justice? Will he be charged? Or will he be the last snake slithering through the grass? We don't know yet. What we do know is that Romeca saw this coming. She warned people. She documented everything. And even though she didn't survive to see justice served, her voice still rang louder than the lies they tried to bury her with. This story isn't just about another tragedy in Chicago. It's about how power, fear, and secrets can lead people to do unthinkable things, even to someone they once claimed to love. It's about a woman who refused to be silent and paid the ultimate price for standing in her truth. Romeca Meeks-Blackmon's story is a lesson, a warning, and a legacy all wrapped in one. She left behind 3 children, a grieving family, and a community that will never forget her name. But she also left behind proof. She left behind her truth, and because of that, people are now behind bars and the system is finally forced to listen. But this case? It's not over. There are still questions, still loose ends, still whispers that more people were involved. Was Dre the mastermind or just a pawn? Is Lil K still alive, or did he get ghosted to keep quiet? And what other secrets were hidden in that nonprofit? We want to hear from you. What do you think really happened to Romeca? Do you believe Jalen acted alone? Should Dre be charged? Was this all about money, or something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button if you're here for the real, not the filtered. Subscribe for more updates, because we are following every twist of this story. And don't forget to share this video. Romeca's story deserves to be heard. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, the truth always finds a way to rise. We don't just report the drama. We dig into the roots.